What's good, guys? Welcome. And you are correct. That is the man with the greatest beard on the side of Merseyside that is joining me, Mr. Pablo. How are you, brother?
I'm very well, mate. A little excited, a little apprehensive. Don't know what to expect this evening. This is going to be a wild ride from probably the wildest beginning to a Call of Duty, mate. But how are you about yourself? How are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm not going to lie, though. I'm jealous of your Darth Vader balloon. That is one way to come back with a bang.
It's slowly deflating. I think it's been here too long now, but this has been my company while I haven't been able to cast. So hopefully you'll bring me some good luck. Bring me some words. Bring me some sentences that are fully formed and make sense.
Oh, 100%, mate. 100%. Mr. Tom, George, how are we? All the OGs. I mean, you'll know them as well as I do, Pabs. Mr. George with the sub. What a man.
Yes, man. That guy is one of the best supporters of our streams, I think there is. I think 6-month anniversary the other week. Thank you, George.
Oh, yeah, he's just done it as well for mine, 6 months. And he's got the new badge to go with it. What a man. Thank you, George, so much.
Legend.
Yeah, guys, tonight we've got one game here coming up between Vitalize ESports and the Fast Route. And as we don't have a third game mode, Pablo, we've got 3 hard points. So got plenty of action.
So much to unpack. And I've been like making a few notes, and it's just I don't even know where to begin. You know, you've got like, we're at the point now where GAs are creeping into controller mechanics again. We're at the point where we've got a game that has got buildings with 4 and 5 entrances. We've got maps with 3 and 4 levels. And if you were a massive fan of Ardennes, we are back with trees across maybe 3 or 4 of our comp maps. So trees are back, yay! It's crazy. It's absolutely wild, and it's with the time to kill. This could be one of the wildest Call of Duties at comp level that we're likely to see. If we can keep the competitors playing, is the main thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've seen it already, haven't we? Everyone's jumping ship and going to Halo, and they've had a really good, a very successful like qualifier series for EU and NA. So hopefully, by the time they release the third game mode, we've actually got some players to play it.
It would be very nice to see. I think you're going to find a lot of players straddling both horses, so to speak. I think you're going to see players trying to pitch themselves between Vanguard and Halo Infinite, and it's going to be definitely one of the most interesting. I think it's about time that the COD had a little bit of competition in a game, so that there maybe it's a boot up the backside time for them, because this is we can't lie, it's a mess at the minute. We're playing Hardpoint 3 times because there's no third game mode. I mean,
I'm not going to complain. I quite liked Hardpoint, but on this game with the time to kill, I think they've already changed the respawn delay, haven't they, to 3.5 seconds? I think that GA went through. I mean, before that, my God, the pace of the game was so quick with respawns and how quickly everyone was dying, and obviously squad spawns as well. I mean, it slowed it down a little bit. but it's still going to be very, very fast paced.
I think if you're a very kind of reactive player, if you're someone who's not really fussed about strategy, and you're someone like, you know, super quick, maybe like Dylan used to play, like that time to kill and that respawn delay, you're gonna fry all the time. You're gonna be putting up big numbers, but it doesn't work in terms of strategy. It just kind of ruins the game. So yeah, just slowing that down a little bit's probably helped massively, but it's still fast. I don't know if anyone's made the that jump when you go to play Halo Infinite and then you jump straight over to Vanguard. It's crazy. Like, my sensitivity on Vanguard's like 5.5, and if I jump over from Halo, it feels like it's on 25. It's insane. But I'm really looking forward to actually seeing some competition this evening, mate. Absolutely, really looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it definitely felt like the off season dragged for us lot. With although fair play to the ACCL, they kept the competitions going. Gave us some stuff to cast over, but yeah, it definitely feels like it's been a long off season. Obviously, I had the game the other day for Vitalize, and it was a breath of fresh air actually being able to cast over something different. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the games this evening, that's for sure.
Oh man, I'll be honest, I'm a little apprehensive because I've had a massive. You've had a few games. I've had a huge break where I think I've streamed 4 times, and I think it's been non COD games, so I'm literally back to the beginning, finding my feet again. So yeah, it should be super interesting, and I just want to see. I mean, this is our first real chance. Well, my first real chance to see a good level of competition. So let's just see how it plays out, and let's just see the differences between this and Cold War. But yeah, I'm super excited, and I'm just raring to go now, man. Just want to get back into it and just want to get back casting as much as possible.
Yeah, no, 100%. And guys, the game is due to start very, very shortly. Oh, Mr. Prezi with the follow. What a man. Thank you very much, buddy. But yeah, the game's due to start at 6 p.m. Obviously, with a previous experience, it might be a couple of minutes after, knowing what the standard lobbying up stuff is like. But the maps, guys, are, as mentioned, 3 hardpoints, 2 S&Ds, and they just alternate hardpoint, S&D, hardpoint, S&D, hardpoint. And we've got Berlin hardpoint for map 1, Bocage S&D, then we go Tuscan hardpoint, Berlin search and destroy, and then a Bocage hardpoint again to round us out. Pabs, do you have a favourite map so far on Vanguard?
Well, see, this is a tricky one. You can understand why Tuscan is everyone's favourite. It's pretty straightforward. It's got a basic central structure, your church, which isn't too complex. It's, you know, there's only a handful of ways to get in, and then you have the rest of it kind of littered around. It's kind of like, there's not tons and tons of levels. So I think Tuscan is probably the most COD-like map. Berlin and Bocage, I don't know, Berlin, 4 levels if you count the docks.
Yeah.
You can get up to that 3rd level. Just so many entrances and exits to buildings. And then obviously Bocage has got that problematic barn, among other things. So I don't know, Tuscan maybe. It's interesting to see how the 2 comp teams are going to play Bocage. I don't know. It's so weird at the minute. I'm just glad that Desert Siege wasn't in there, to be honest. But Tuscan definitely. How about yourself, man?
Yeah, I actually quite like Bocage as a map. I think with the destructible terrain, it can get a bit messy. But I think when the terrain's actually gone, it's a decent map. It's just, there just seems to be, like you say, every single, I mean, especially the bottom Granny's Hill, that it feels like you can just get shot from anywhere.
Yeah.
But I think as a map, I think it flows quite well. So it's another very, very quick map. And already you start to see kind of the hills that are almost determined to be the money hills.
Yeah, I think it reminds me. Was it Saint Mary Elise? Was it the one with the little street in it that had the courtyard that Scraps used to do so well on? It was kind of very similar to that, but yeah, it reminds me of that. I mean, as a pub map, it plays really well. If you're reasonably good, you're reasonably fast, and you're kind of silent as well. Yeah, you can put up big numbers. But I've seen a few MISL scrims, and as a comp map, it just looks so chaotic. You know, you look at that first hill, which is just so open and there's just so much access. It's so difficult to try and control. And then Barn Hill alone is another one that's really difficult to control. So I don't know. This is going to be really interesting. This is definitely could be a year for the teams with the big brains.
Yeah, 100%. And I definitely think the fast-paced, cracked players will benefit from Vanguard. Because, I mean, we've seen a couple of the guys that we've casted over that are naturally SMG fast-paced players, and they get 2 pieces and 3 pieces like they're nothing. This year. But just quickly, I'll shout out all the boys in the chat because the returning OGs are here. Gozzy, Bizzle, Mr. Fatal as well, and one of the Sensei boys has blessed us with his presence. How you doing, mate? And also the followers, NATO. Is it Adversitix? Is that it? Adversitix and Sabot with the follows. Thank you very much, guys. Much appreciated. But I've just received a message actually. The guys are saying 6:30. 1 second. Sod's law, isn't it? It's
yeah, you know that.
Because I thought it was 6. I did check to see if they could switch at 6:30, but I didn't hear back, so I assumed it was still 6. But Pablo, mate, I mean, we can chat on for England, to be honest. Not gonna lie. So
you know, we haven't even mentioned guns. We haven't even spoke about the guns.
Oh yeah.
And of the GAs. So you know, as we said, there's so much to unpack. And just at the very beginning of this game, normally we'd be, you know, having this much kind of conversation at part way through the season. But this has been the craziest, most untidy start to a Call of Duty I've seen in a long time, and probably the worst. Probably starting to, well, from a developer's perspective, but yeah, GA's now creeping into controller mechanics with this ATS argument that's rumbling on that Sensei seems to have inflamed, and then, I mean, just regular. I mean, we are heading to a 2-gun meta for this season again.
Yeah, it seems like everything either gets GA'd or banned, and then you end up with the 2 guns that are left. I mean,
and it was sidearms banned.
Yeah, I mean, when the game first came out, it was like the GA list was as long as your arm. It was like most of the ARs were like gone. Mr. Ollie, the sauciest of Scotsmen, with the sub. Thank you very much, buddy. What a man. He's here all the time. 9 months. One of the OGs as well. So big shout out to Ollie. Yeah, no, Docs, I know. I said to Vega, but he didn't reply, so I assumed it was still 6. I've just spoken to him, though. 6:30 is fine with us. You guys are just going to have to listen to us waffle for a little bit longer.
Plenty of water.
Stay hydrated. I've got my double concentrate Tesco squash to guide me through it. But yeah, no, the automaton, that's already had stuff already. I mean, even just damage mags as a whole now, I don't think can be used at all, can they? There's no magazines allowed on any guns now, I think. Yep,
no mags, and I don't know, as the lack of sidearm being addressed from the official set of rules, because at some point you were having to launch in with fists. So I don't know what the script was there, but hopefully that's been addressed.
We'll see a couple of maybe some of the big rivals sorting out their problems with a fist fight in the middle map.
Get in. It's just Fight Club. You just don't need weapons. Just get in the barn.
Yeah, just have a scrap in mid-map for P1.
Bloody hay bales everywhere. Insane start to a Call of Duty, mate. I don't envy the players having to come in, and I don't envy them having to unpick and keep an eye out for what is allowed and what isn't allowed, because it's just getting year on year more complex. You're going to need like an A level in Call of Duty soon just to be able to play it. It's crazy, absolutely wild. But I do think we're heading towards an MP40 STG meta. I just got a feeling it's just going to end up, being those 2 guns and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's got as well to a point where they're starting to, with the Challenger stream that we help out with, they're also mentioning about potentially delaying the first Challengers tournament. And the finest of H2O, thank you so much. Yeah. Haven't seen much of him recently, but what a man. Thank you so much, Aqua. How you doing, mate?
I miss my Aqua.
I know. I want to see the beams again. I'm fuming, absolutely fuming. But yeah, no, the fact that they are potentially moving that first Challengers Cup from just mainly from like Revolt, really.
Well, I mean, if you think about it though, there's no APAC to speak of at the minute because they haven't sorted that out. You've got the problems with the rule set, and then I mean the glitch. I mean, you're the one who kind of brought it to our attention, but the Codcaster glitch.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically speaking, how is a production like the CDL Challenges, and they Shift puts an immense amount of effort into getting quite a big team together, and that could fall apart on the basis of not remembering that there's a glitch. There's enough to think about when you go in and do that job.
Yeah, I know it's hard enough normally when it works, let alone when it's backwards.
Without having to invert the controller on your brain as well, that's just it's no good. It's no good. So much that's crazy and having to contend with. But this is why we just want to get the players in the game and actually get the game underway. Let all that go. Get it all out the way, and let's get the season underway as soon as possible. Because I am raring to go, man.
Yeah, 100%. And it'll be interesting as well to see those players, how they transition over. Obviously, when I casted the Vitalize lads in the final against Dansk, they did very, very well in that. Obviously, they didn't come away with the victory on that occasion, but they showed some really good signs there. So I'm interested to see how they pair up against the fast route lads as well.
Yeah, because these individually are very cracked players. It'd just be interesting to see how the fast route plays a team. But we've got it all to look forward to. And another thing just occurred to me as well. My brain's absolutely frazzled with the amount of kind of issues that this game's already generated. But the 3 hard points, I mean, that's a lot to think about as well. You know, you usually do that. The alternate game mode, no matter what your thoughts on it are, whether you like it or hate it, though, is a refresher in the middle of of any game. And allows the team, especially a strategic team, to just think about something else. But 3 hard points, you know, if you're those S&D teams that were kind of making it by last year, you know, up until they get that alternate, are going to be, they're in trouble. You know, if you're a respawn team at the minute, this is exactly what you want. 3 hard points. So this is also another factor that's just how is this game, how is not just this game, but how is the next few weeks going to play out. And this is another reason why you can understand why challenges have to sort of put it back another week. I mean, you need that alternate game mode, if anything, for balance. And balance is definitely the problem at the minute. There isn't any across the board. It's crazy to be having this conversation. In what are we, like 4 weeks into the game launch?
We don't know what the game mode is, because what the challenges once, the 5th of December, the first challenger stream was meant to be, and we haven't got a game. We haven't got a game 3 yet. So it's like even if they release it right before, and it's like, oh, okay, all hands on deck. We don't know if the spawns are going to work. We don't know what maps they'll be all right on. We don't know how good, like, teams won't have time to practice them probably by the time they do release them. So it's like it only really makes sense that they like delay it.
If you think that if they do release that at the last minute, that's going to play into the hands of the more experienced players, especially if it's CTF. You know, your game mode options are fairly limited. You know, it's going to come down to between CTF and Dom. If it's CTF, those older players that have been playing for a while, those kind of challenger players that have amassed 70,000, 80,000 points, they're going to be laughing. But I can understand why that they put it back just purely so that there is an even playing field and that people can get that practice time in. And give us the chance to get some casting practice in, because that's the other problem is, you know, dropping that right on, and some of the casters are experienced, but I mean, dropping that right onto someone's head and being like, cast this CTF tomorrow, that's I mean, it's mind blowing. I don't know what's gone on the scenes behind with Sledgehammer, but they've dropped the ball massively on this one.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it gets ironed out very, very shortly, because, like we mentioned, with players transitioning over to Halo and everyone going to a game which is still in beta mode, isn't it? Halo, it's not even the full form yet. So, I mean, it's worrying. It's worrying. I mean, especially at challengers level, because obviously players aren't tied to a particular game. They can do both, but I still think you're going to get a particular, like, especially if they want to compete at a higher level, they're going to pick one and stick with it. They're not going to try and bounce back between the two.
Yeah. I think as well, you've got to consider that even though it's in beta, the fact that it launched with a ranked mode, there's that competition that the players want, and the FPS element and the nature of Halo is close enough to COD. I mean, we know historically the players at the highest level have made those transitions between COD and Halo previously, that I just think if the developers at Sledgehammer already knew that Halo was going to get released with a ranked playlist, they just shows how little Activision does really care about the competitive side of things, because if Halo can release a ranked playlist with half the development time that a Call of Duty has had, it just makes no sense. And you've already got players who've got that competitive spirit. They're going to make that leap to Halo. It makes sense. They can make money out of that game in chals in whatever way they want straight away. Like, they've probably already been doing it for the last week or so. So it's crazy.
Yeah, and obviously the more people that play it, the more participation they get, the more viewership, the more sponsorship. Like I mentioned, the prize pools are going to be bigger. That's going to attract people over there. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it doesn't go downhill too quickly. And also quickly, a big shout out to Mr. JT. I spoke about good players on with fast gameplay. Mr. Tizzle has been absolutely frying in this this one. So shout out to Mr. JT and Elmore as well, dropping by in the chat. Good to see all the boys, and Charlie as well from the Vitalize.
Huge jump in quality from JT. We did see that that screenshot that went out the other week, and I was like, Joe hit the floor. I did that man drop a 60 bomb. I was like,
I wasn't sure because Lutia, oh my god, Desire raiding with a party of 11. Thank you very much, buddy. Welcome. Yeah, with right, I think who was it? Oh, it was Luti. Luti asked him to stream, and I was like, ain't nobody calling Mr. JT a waller, because I think he's just been so good on this COD.
He's put the time in though. That's the thing. He's put the effort in. So fair play to him. You know, another OG who just deserves a moment in the spotlight there. What I was about to say, and it's completely gone, mate. It's completely gone.
It's all right, Paz. It's the first stream of the year. It's all right. It'll be all right.
I was musing on the Halo ranked kind of like issue as well. It just baffles me that COD have dropped the ball so heavily. I think the other thing as well, that was it, is when you do launch into a game, like they've taken there's no complexity. You've got a simple map with a simple, game mode and a handful of extra weapons and a rotating power weapons. So it allows for strategy. It allows those better players who play at a higher level, who play competitive, you think about how they play, and then you take that and go into something like Bocage Hardpoint, where you've got 10 entrances to a barn, you've got 4 levels of map, you've got like 2 massively, or maybe even more. I mean, I would even go as far to say like the dock side, the kind of like boat side hardpoint is like pretty open as well.
Yeah.
So you've got like these really open hardpoints, and it's just going to be difficult to control. And I think it's going to frustrate the players who know that in previous CODs they've been able to control the map with brains, and now they might be getting danced all over by players who play at a million miles an hour.
Yeah, and this also links back again to the auto tack sprint that was mentioned recently as well. Like, RIP to people's thumbs, especially mine. Like, there's no chance I'm going to be able to be like shooting straight and sort that stuff out, because that is like the movement system in this game is so much more difficult without ATS.
Mate, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, my pad is already screwed from not using ATS, and I started using it at the end of Cold War. Now, obviously, just the first thing I did was get this and put it on, but RIP my pad. I'm gonna have to buy a new pad, because if I have to keep pushing this thing in, I wear everything heavy. I'm not the smallest person in the world, but yeah, I've got no care at all. Now, if you think that players are going to be competing and playing every day, all day, some of these lads are putting 12-hour days in. They're gonna need like a subscription to Scuff.
Yeah,
it'd be like £150 a month subscription to Scuff. Basically, you may as well just write it off.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, guys, we are just in the background. The guys are lobbying up now, so we should be shortly starting. We're just waiting on the Vitalize lads to lobby up. We have got all the boys of the fast route in, living up to their name. No pun, I promise. But yeah, they're all ready to go. So map 1 is going to be a Berlin hardpoint, guys, and I will read them out in just case you are joining us. And this one is an MCA European Series Group A game, and yeah, we've got Berlin hardpoint, Bocage Search and Destroy, Tuscan hardpoint, Berlin Search and Destroy, and then Bocage hardpoint again. And mentioned, so there's no third game mode, so we've got 3 hardpoints absolutely stacked out. And yeah, we should be starting very, very shortly, and it's always good to see all the OGs back in the chat as well. Mr. JMW here, lurking as always.
I mean, I honestly think it might not be a third game mode, but the map is just so good that technically it kind of is a third game mode. Tuscan, the quality in map compared to the other 2 maps might just give us that breath of fresh air we need in the middle of the series.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's just, I suppose Search is a good game mode to do after hardpoint, because it's a big change of pace. Even on Vanguard, I think the pacing slows right down, because obviously you don't have the respawn, so you can't just keep throwing yourself and kind of just playing numbers And I think that's where, I suppose, as an AR as well, they're probably a bit more relieved that they don't have to be running into every building, running into an MP40, just waiting around the corner. They can obviously slow everything down, take their time a little bit, and just try and hit the regain. But if they do, by whatever reason, get, say, smoked in a hard point, they can then look to the search to try and at least regain.
I feel for the team that is going to be relying on S&D at the minute, just especially if one team dominates that first Berlin. I mean, mentally speaking, and from a psychological point of view, the regain that's going to be needed, it's going to be heavy because they know they've got 2 more hard points to go into, and I don't think there's enough of a variety, especially when you consider that Tuscan and Bocage are probably reasonably similar sized maps. They've got a similar-ish kind of terrain. You've got like Granny's, which is quite central. You've got that church, so you've got kind of like a similar terrain. Whereas Berlin is the odd man out here, I think. Yeah. So I think whoever dominates on that Berlin map, I feel for the other team, and hopefully they're going to be able to regain and just come back through Tuscan and Bocage, and it doesn't just slip away from them. Because whoever loses that hardpoint map is going to have to win that S&D, like 100%. Like if they go, I think if either team go 2-0 down, it's a 3-0 game.
Yeah, and the game that I casted between Vitalize and Dansk the other week, Vitalize, they lost the hardpoint, but they won the search. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see a good performance from them in the search and destroy. And as they mentioned, we know some of the players on the fast route, and well, both teams really. But it'll be interesting to see kind of how that chemistry lines up for the first game, because the guys they've had plenty of time to scrim hardpoint the way it's been going at the moment.
I think the other factor as well, which thankfully we're not going to see this afternoon, but when we get into the third game mode and when we start seeing more maps in the rotation, I mean, what it used to be a talking point back in World War II was the trees in Ardennes, and now we've got 3 maps that have got like Gavatu, Desert Siege, and Demyansk that have got quite a lot of tree action going on. And I did see one of the challenger players, like week 1, mention it already as the 5th man. So I wonder what kind of impact that's going to have as we go into games where we see a bit more variety in the maps.
Yeah, no, 100%. And there's some maps that I'm not completely sold on. Berlin has grown on me as a map. I didn't really like it at the start, but I think when you go from Bocage, where it's just pace all the time, Berlin kind of, you still get that little staggered effect where it's like you have quick moments in the hard point, but it's not 100 mile an hour all the time. There's still a bit of a breakdown to it.
Yeah, I think Berlin hasn't grown on me yet, but I think that's probably just because I haven't had the chance to cast it, and when I'm playing, I'm shocking. But I think it's got that little bit of separation between the two sides. It's quite big, and obviously it uses quite a lot of the map. We had seen in Cold War where you would get these large maps, and in particular on S&D, but you would only use quite a small portion of the map. Whereas in Berlin, they have used like the complete extension, especially in Hardpoint. So it will be interesting, especially when we get that flip over to like tracks at the side of the warehouse, and just see how teams deal with these huge hill maneuvers. But again, I think Tuscan is probably as fast as Bocage. I think once you get those routes down and you see those SMG players just flying around, kind of like top broken, going into that kind of route around to the side of church that's away from the field. I mean, I think it's another wild ride. So we've got 2 reasonably quick hardpoint maps there. So I don't know. It's a weird one to call. First game on. I think we're just finding our feet again. So
yeah, I don't know. It's a blank canvas for players, and it's a blank canvas for us, like as casters, trying to learn call outs, keep an eye on what strats teams tend to try.
I just wonder how much, like, in terms of like that mental consistency, you know, the concentration required on a very quick hardpoint map it's not tiring, but you definitely come away like you sigh at the end of it. You kind of like. Yeah, and now we've got like 3 hard points, 2 of which are really fast. I don't know. There's so many little factors that can kind of like, you know, play into the hands of that more experienced side, or play into the hands of the team that are going to maintain that pace. You know, one thing we did see, we both saw it in Cold War, you would have these teams that would fly out the blocks at hardpoint for the first like two hills, absolutely smoke the other team, and then just fall off. And now you've got this time to kill that's quicker. You've got these maps that are slightly faster. You know, I'd be interested to see how those type of players and those type of teams are going to fare.
Yeah, 100%, mate, 100%. And is it Exile with the follow? Thank you very much, buddy. And Mr. Specs, what a man with the Prime sub, just casually dropping that in. Thank you very much, buddy. Yeah, we're still waiting on two guys from the Vitalize lads. Apologies, guys. The game was due to start at 6:30, but the guys have kindly tried to regroup a little bit sooner for us so we can get map 1 underway. And we're just waiting on those two. So as soon as that's ready, we'll switch us over. But until then, you've got to put up with me and Pablo for the time being. Just on your screen. I mean, people asked for the face cam. They got the face cam, so it is what it is.
It's good to see him on. This the thing. The main thing is it's just good to see, to put a face to the voice.
I waited so many messages of you look nothing like I thought you would. I think it was going to be inevitable. I think everyone had an idea of kind of what I looked like, so it was. I had to troll people as well with the first face cam stream. With I had to quickly rickroll them, but then obviously I did do it. But I had to pull their legs a little bit. I wanted to milk it as long as possible.
Wait, you told me when we first spoke, you were like, "Oh yeah, I'll be in the gym till 9 o'clock," and I was like, "Oh, you in the gym all the time?" He was like, "Yeah." So I just had to remind you were like Big Boy Bake. Honestly, I just thought you were going to be like
an absolute fridge freezer. No, not me. I go to the gym. I don't do anything when I go there. I just go there.
just beasting off people. It's just all cardio, isn't it?
Yeah, no, 100%, mate. It's just anything that gets me out of the house. Anything that gets me out of the house.
You need to breathe if you're at the PC all day casting like a legend.
Yeah,
you need to get that fresh air.
When you start getting into our age and stuff and your back starts locking out, you're like, oh, I need to do something to get us moving.
Man, you're too kind. Like, what is there, like 300 years between us, mate? Our age. Literally, I'm genuinely crying about back pain.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Ali. He carries me in 8s, by the way. He's a great player, is Mr. Ali. Thank you very much for the sub, bro. Hope you're well. And yeah, thank you all guys for tuning in for the first crossover with Mr. Pablo. What a man to have! What a man to have!
Mate, I'm looking forward to us doing some duos, just because I think we both want to kind of like get the practice in on the roles that we don't normally do, which is the next step for both of us, I think. So it's just going to be super exciting. So I'm going to reciprocate the favour that young Chaffin's done for me here, and hopefully we're going to see a few of these. I myself will be back casting hopefully the end of the week, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But the big man comes through for me. But it's as yet still in limbo. But yeah, it should be good fun, and I'm just dying to get on. I've got to be ready for next week anyway, because the season kicks off proper.
Yeah.
10th of December, ACCL, I believe. So.
We got lots of action. Lots of action.
Lots of practice needed, man. Lots of practice needed.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it looks as though we're just waiting on one more player, guys, and then we should be good to go for map number 1. Thank you very much for your patience. And Pablo's just having a little rave to my royalty-free background music.
I'm waiting for the beat to drop, so I'm like...
You need to get some strobe lights, Pablo, in the background.
I've got the worst lights actually ever. You've got to see how cheap these lights are. I know we're like 2 minutes away, but I'm like, I thought they looked so good online. Where's the camera? Oh my god, this is so bad.
Oh yeah, like burning through my retinas.
Just like hide them away, and so you get on Amazon with me, man. I am like my card just dies.
Especially after Black Friday.
Wait, I did buy a bottle of whiskey the other day, and it came with its own jumper, its own Christmas jumper.
Oh, that's sick. That's so good.
Maker's Mark. I was like,
well, at least you know if any family members or that have new kids, you're like, there you go, I got your Christmas jumper sorted for them.
Yeah, just stretch that whiskey jumper over the child. I think it might fit a chihuahua. If anyone's got a chihuahua,
a very, very small person. Revolution and Bradbury also with the follows. Thank you very much, guys.
Who says that we can't fill half an hour with actual nonsense?
But say, hopefully we get to do what we enjoy the most with a cheeky bit of COD. And I'm hoping that with Codcaster being messed up, so basically for anyone who is interested, guys, Codcaster, you have to line up the teams with the team names. But this COD, if you think you had enough issues with just the gameplay in general, Codcaster's wrong. So we have to do them the opposite way around. So that's a bit of a mind smack for a little while. So apologies if they do end up being the wrong way around. The overlays will always be the right way around. But whether or not the arrows on the map will be the correct colours will wait to be determined. But fingers crossed after trialing it multiple times in bot lobbies just to be sure. That's how much effort's gone in to make sure we don't balls it up. But it looks as though everyone is now in, so we should be good to go for map number 1 very shortly, guys.
Let's get this.
Making sure.
Quick question for you before we get in. When the ACCL kicks off and you're casting, are you going to wear a shirt?
Oh, maybe for the first one. It's a big day, isn't it?
Yeah, big day. I think I'm gonna get a shirt and wear a shirt. I think. I mean, it's gonna have that problem the fat people get where the buttons just a little bit too tight along the bottom. But you know,
you can feel the buttons like, hold on, lads, hold on.
Yeah. You're constantly pulling it down.
Yeah, no. Hey, mate, if you do it, I'll do it. I'll wear my job interview suit. I'll go full wham and.
You'll look like when the guys play Football Manager and get to the final and put a suit on.
Yeah, no, 100%, mate. Right, guys. So everyone is in. We're just waiting on that. We're just waiting on that start button to go, pretty much. But yeah, in the meantime, I might need to go to the tailor to get a new suit fitted. What was that, Pablo? Is that a big old art balls you had there? I thought you were going to do a bit of like speed art, like sketch the stream quick while we were waiting.
Wait, you know that I'm going to be. I've got things ready for streaming, like little bits of entertainment, but this wasn't it.
It feels like one of those people when you go on holiday and they do like a little cartoon drawing of you.
You know I'm a loose cannon.
Is this another one of your talents, Pablo? So, is it, like, on occasion you'll whip out the guitar, and now you're gonna do us with a bit of speed art.
Yeah, man. 100%, mate.
It's one of your autopilots, that is. Oh man. And Orbits with the follow. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. But yeah, it looks as though everyone's in. We're just waiting on that go button, guys. So as soon as
Can I just ask how did Prezi only just follow you right now?
Well, I'm hoping it's an alternate account, otherwise I'm going to take a big oof on that one.
I feel like having a word with him. I'm still going to message him now. How dare you only be following Chafin right now? Yeah, it must be an alternate. Has to be an alternate.
Then it's got to be. Maybe it's like Prezi's alter ego. Like his undercover version.
Every time you tell me 100%, mate, I'm going to pull that thing out and do that to you. I'm going to extend your vocabulary. You said to me, I need to extend it, and I need to extend mine. So we'll do that. Let's be creative forces together.
We can do like word counts every time we say a phrase. That will keep note of how many times we say it.
We need to do like a tequila stream or something, and every time we do, someone says like the same thing. Because my one is absolutely like I think I must say it like 5,000 times a cast. Like he's absolutely destroyed that person. He's absolutely killed it. I'm just like, stop saying it. I actually started doing what you used to do, which was get the notepad up and have like words ready. And I've started doing it. I have actually started doing it. It was such a good idea.
Yeah, no, it's something that, especially when you're focusing on so much in the game and you get excited, you just naturally revert to things you've always said. Yeah. So,
which is cool. That I think it's good when that happens, when there's like a really key moment and you just yourself. But I think you were right. Like, it's so easy to slip into kind of like a mundane sometimes. I'm the worst for it because you've got like a cool voice. I've got like super monotonous voice. So I have to like spice it up with like extra hand movements.
Oh no, Specs has spammed the cheer bits, 69 bits from Spec, and I've got text to chat for gifted subs and stuff like that. Thank you very much, Specs, for the 69 bits. What a man.
That's tremendous work, Specs.
Yes, he's absolutely done me there. Oh, Mr. Tensei with the sub as well.
York 11, let's
another
go.
OG,
York
man.
11, let's go. York 11,
Thank you very much, mate.
York 11, let's go.
Yeah, guys, we are. Sod's Law. The lobby was ready, but we had an issue with the lobbies glitching out, so they're just re-lobbying now. And it is 6:30, so we should be good to go.
man.
I'll just give it. No, it looks as though we're now getting map number 1 underway, guys. We'll switch the screens over, and Zenity with the follow. Thank you very much, buddy. Yeah, guys, map number 1 is now underway for the Berlin hard point. And oh, hang on, Pablo, can you still hear me?
I certainly can, man.
I think COD has just frozen on me. Are you kidding me, game?
Yeah, it looks like it's just had a moment.
you can't write this, can you? You
Honestly,
cannot write this.
Oh, Specs just cheered 2-3-1.
Oh no. Oh no, hang on. 1 second.
Mate, this game is sent to create headaches.
You can't write this stuff, can you?
No, honestly, I mean, maybe it's like karma. Maybe we shouldn't have complained about it as much at the start.
I know, I've been slating it this whole time, and the game is now frozen. Oh my
You know,
God.
the worst thing is we've spent a lot of time really complaining about some of the mechanics, but the game itself, once you get into like pubs, it can be enjoyable. Like, it can be so much fun, especially if you go off. It's just as soon as you get into 8s and comp lobbies where you just start seeing the issues.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first one without some sort of technical issue, would it? To be honest. Oh no. Is it actually?
Audio is definitely gone. Oh, you've completely frozen. I think Parsec's gone.
Has it? Has the stream died as well?
No, it's just come back to life.
Jesus,
I'm
right.
like, I'm trying to move
guys.
your task manager. Apologies.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. God's sake. Right. Well, you cannot write this, can you, with this game? This is the problem. You guys think the gameplay is an issue. Yeah, and then you've got us lot stressing out that we can't get anything going. 1 sec. I'll see if the guys have started the map or not. I'll double check with them. I pray to God that they haven't actually properly started it.
So, what are the odds on making the switch over to Halo casting within the next 2 weeks?
I've already got it downloaded, mate. I've already got it downloaded. Yeah, it's like COD is just poking me with a stick at this point. Oh, Jesus.
When you start looking and seeing just how simple the Halo maps are, and it's just like color coded. There's a room with pipes. There's a room without pipes. The call outs are so simple.
Oh God, it's like not. Hang on. Right, Vanguard is now rebooting, and Tensei asking who is playing. It's Vitalize, ESports, Tensei, and the Fast Route. But hopefully we can actually get it on the screen so you guys can watch it without a scan or repair. That'd be nice. But Panda with the follow, and obviously Specs as well with the 231 bits. What a man! Thank you very much, mate. And thank you guys for being patient. This is typical COD. I will try and rejoin on the lads. See, yeah, they ended the game. Oh, thank you. What absolute legends. Right, let me try and get in with them again. Right, it's now loading in, so fingers crossed. Yeah, Doc's all good, Brett. I've just rejoined. Hopefully now we should be good. So everyone's in, just waiting on that start button again. And fingers crossed, the game is actually going to be all right this time. Yeah, thanks again, guys, for your Jesus, 80 people tuning in. Thank you very much, guys, for your patience. You are.
There's some quality. There's partnership numbers right there, Chafin.
I think we're still a long way away from that, perhaps. Everyone's hyped for the game. They're as excited as we are, mate. Excited as we are.
I've got clammy hands. I'm not gonna lie, little apprehension.
Mate, you're telling me. I'm nervous that the game's not gonna boot. I'm scared that it's just gonna keep giving me scan for whatever reason. I pray. Please, guys, pray in the chat. Prayers in the chat. And hopefully.
And sub 8s for Halo coming up on Chafin's stream.
Oh, mate, do you imagine? I think it's done it again, you know.
Its game was sent to
What is wrong with this game? It's literally done it again. game is so buggy, man. Obviously, I didn't switch the screens over preemptively because I had a feeling this was probably going to happen again. I've got no idea why. God. Big L in the chat. That is, I don't know what he's doing, mate, to be honest. I haven't got a clue.
Send that big L to Sledgehammer for us.
Literally. Oh, man. It's going to have to be another task manager jobby. I don't know why it's doing it. The stream might freeze for a little while. Again, guys, apologies. Because I've got to full whack the game. Guys, what is wrong with this, man? All the rips in the chat, understandably.
Man, it's RIP this game at the minute. Can't even...
I don't know what it's doing. At this rate, we'll be casting bot lobbies for the whole of the year.
I don't think I could take Latham and Churchill anymore. Or whoever the two bots were. Latham and someone.
I really... Right, well, we are booting up again, guys. For the third time of trying.
Fingers crossed this time on.
I might even not, like, try and click on another application. I might just leave it there and pray.
Man, it's definitely a Vanguard issue as opposed to a PC issue.
Yeah. I mean, I spent so much money trying to make sure that everything wouldn't be an issue with like, drop frames or, like, the game looking alright, but it's just... Do you have the skin on the first operator? I don't think so, mate. I don't think so.
What an odd glitch that would be.
Yeah. How does this stuff even come in? Like, it's like, oh, if you have the third attachment on one of your guns, it's like it won't boot. Like, what? How does this stuff even come through? Right. Vanguard is now booting up. To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if the guys actually started playing because it's already.
Yeah, we're at 22, aren't we?
Yeah. Hoping that's not the case. Dream, have to dream.
Man, this is the thing, though, isn't it? Again, you think about what we have to unpack. Literally every element of this game is wild.
Oh no, Specs has done it again. Specs with the 69 bits.
Keeping the stream alive, man.
Right. So I've joined mid-game, so I'm praying that it might let us hop on midway through.
That's Codcaster.
Oh, I think it's loading, Pabs. I think it's loading. We're midway through the game, guys. No, hang on. It's put me on someone's team. Are you... Oh, mate, it's put me on someone's team. I can't do it. Yeah, I can't. I have to leave. The guys are playing. Apologies, guys. It has not stuck us in Codcaster. It's stuck us on the team. So, map 1 looks as though it's short. They're already playing it, understandably. The glitches are just absolutely stiffing us this evening, Pablo.
Mate, it happens, doesn't it? And it's just a shame that it's stream number 1. But this is what we were talking about earlier on. Oh. Is there anything that can kind of save this game at the minute? Because it's a viewing nightmare. It's a playing nightmare. It's crazy. You can't even use the full facilities of your controller anymore. Oh, they're looking to cripple the hands of the competitive Call of Duty scene within a year.
They were like, right, we've pissed off the players. Let's go for the production and casters next. Who else can we tick off the checklist?
Honestly, I think Activision or someone have got just like bought like 70% of 343 Studio shares or something because they want Halo to do well.
Yeah, all the guys.
And this is going to be the conversation that we end up having. Kind of like, if they don't address any of these problems, that's the conversation. Like for the next 2 months, is the players are going to be like, should we just play Halo?
The guys are saying I can go spectate mid-game. I don't know if I can. Try and see if I can. I don't think I can. I'm not going to lie to you. Gonna have to try. I can't go spectate, guys. It's not letting me. It's like locked me. It's locked me to a team. And change team as well. I don't think it's going to let me, guys. I mean, I'm dreading to... Oh, wait, change team. Spectate. Yes! We're in. Right, I'm in spectate mode. It's not going to be beautiful, guys, because there's no codcaster. But we can at least see how the game.
We might get to see some game, though.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Do we get to see any map?
Yeah, we've actually got a map.
We go.
And it looks as though... Oh, there you go. We're going to have to go off this. Right, this is codcasting winging at its finest, so... It looks as though, oh wow,
that's a spanking.
Yeah,
that
the lads
immediately.
The lads of Vitalize are actually running away with this at the moment. 191 to 42 currently at the moment, and we go in towards the gold hard point. That scrap time is going to go in the way of the pass route, but already Pablo, it looks as though they're going to have to hit a big regain button here. Mate,
that's more than a regain. I mean, psychologically, they can't get near the hill. You can see minimap there. You can see the guys, Docs, and that just cannot get near the hill whatsoever. And I mean, this is going to be a short-lived game. For what we've seen of it, this is going to be a pretty quick match. I mean, we were talking about Tuscan and Bacage being fast-paced maps, but this is wild. 202 to 63.
Yeah, and
crazy.
Doc's currently trying to keep his head down in the hard point for the time being. His team haven't managed to get a decent chunk of time for the time being. Doc's going to have to try and stay alive. Manages to take down one onto Vega, and his teammate Rev does the work around the hill, and Docs manages to grab another one. So a good couple of kills coming through, but in the break is going to happen. And Mr. J Prof out inside the hill. Usyk is going to manage to take him out of it for the time being, but every single second of scrap time now, Pablo, that goes towards Vitalize is just going to edge them ever closer to that first map 1 win.
I mean, it doesn't matter what Call of Duty it is. Once you get into this position, the team that are this far ahead are just going to take what they can from each hill. They don't need to really overcommit. So this is the same problem across all Call of Duties. If you go 200 points down or 150 that they're down at the minute, maybe.
Yeah.
They're going to cruise into this. I think it's going to take a miracle that I don't think is within the reach of these 4 guys. They're just not going to be able to turn it. It would be good to see them get to the 100 points, though. It would be nice if they could just avoid the 100 point club.
Yeah, no, they are still holding on for the time being. They only need 25 seconds, though, do the Vitalize boys, and Rev, Docs, and the boys are trying their best just to try and race over into the hill. They do seem to have those preferred spawns, at least for the time being, but the flood is just coming through time after time, and it looks as though, again, it's going to be another set of scrap time that is just going to push Vitalize ever closer. And we'll have a look at the kills in a moment as well. Zyro having a really good game at the moment. Currently 37 eliminations to his name. He's having a strong start, and he needs a little bit more from his team at the moment. Does Rev currently leading the way with 30 elims, but this is just going to be the make or break hill, you feel, at this point, Pabs, with over towards that water side.
Again, we talked earlier on about the transition between the two ends of this quite large map, and I think right now it's played, the guys, Docs now, have played really well. They've managed to get the remaining time in the previous hill, and they've got control of this one, but it just flips.
Oh, and Sabot just about manages to stay alive towards the end, but that is going to be map number 1 finished. Vitalize are going to take it 250 to 97. And
that's a spanking.
That is a very, very comfortable map there from the Vitalize lads. As mentioned before, Pablo, in the previous series I casted, they didn't win the hard point against Dansk in that final. So a good start for them, managing to take the hard point, and I assume they'll be feeling confident going into Search and Destroy.
Well, that's what we talked about earlier on, was the 3 hardpoint maps, and if you're struggling so heavily in Berlin that you're going to get a 100-point club, then I mean, you need a big regain now. You're going to need to win this S&D 100%, because if you go 2-0 down from a 100-point club into Tuscan, which is probably the best map so far in Vanguard.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm scared for them a little bit that it might be a 3-0, but I mean, these guys, they've got the skill, they've got the gun skill. It's just whether they've got the coordination as a team, and that's the question. That's the question mark that hangs over them right now.
Yeah, no, 100%. And
wild.
So map number 2, guys, is going to be Bocage, Search and Destroy. So it'll a much needed break from all the fast action of the from the hard point, and it'll be interesting now perhaps to see if Fast Route can hit that regain button and try and tie up the best of 5. Really, you want to do it early on, don't you? You don't want to go 2-0 and then all of a sudden you've got an even bigger mountain to climb.
And I think that is a hell of a mountain if they go 2-0 down. Interestingly, like, I think going into Bocage, I mean, the name's the fast route, but this is going to be an interesting one to see kind of what routes they do take in this map, because it's multi-level, it's multi-layered. There's a lot of options open. There's a kind of lot. We've got this barn, this infamous 8 entrance barn or whatever. We've got grannies, which is a few levels, including a platform to the side, and then an even lower field. So there's just so many different ways that you can get around this map. We've got the tunnel. We've got this, large trench over towards the side. There's just so many different ways you can get about this map. So again, just be super interesting to see how these two teams play it. Obviously, all eyes now on Dux, Zeke, Sabot, and Rev to see if they can make the comeback.
Yeah, 100%. And so we're now lobbing up, guys, for map number 2. Yeah, Vitalize, lads, if you did miss it, they did look very, very comfortable on that one. We had a bit of issues with Codcaster, but the final score in the end was 250 to 97. We're now lobbying up for that Bocage, Search and Destroy for map number 2. And we'll see if they can hit that regain button. But yeah, again, guys, I know I say it all the time, but a big shout out to all of you guys coming back, tuning in through the thick and the thin of COD bugs and back supporting the channel as well. And I mean, when I've got this beautiful specimen of a man next to me, that's all you need, really.
It's just all fat. It's just but yeah, go back. Did you say Zero dropped to 40 in that game?
I think he did. Yeah, he did. He had a really, really good game. I think it was Zyro, or yeah, I think it was Zyro that was doing well in terms of slaying.
Yeah, I did. We noticed. I mean, for the short amount of time that we did actually see that game, the amount of 2 pieces that we saw, it was just like, those quick players like Docs, like Zero, just dropping bodies. I think this is going to be Vanguard unless they do another change to the mechanics of the actual game itself. I think we're going to be seeing this kind of pace right the way through the season.
Yeah,
big numbers from big players.
Yeah, I mean, even like I say that one was a 100-point club. Like, you see people hit 40 kills. When you get those close games, I mean, you've seen them on like scrims or 8s. Some people quite consistently pop 70 kills. Yeah, like very, very frequently. So it's a complete like flip to what we're used to on Cold War.
Well, this is the game mode where you'd like to see Dylan back, or I don't know. You would want to see one of the brothers back, Scraps or Wuskins or someone come in and just like they did in World War II, just dominate these small, fast-paced maps. Well, probably Scraps more than Wuskins, but definitely would like to see the likes of Dylan back and see what they can do in a game like this. It would be legit awesome to see, but we've got to see how big the boys from the fast route. And let's see how quick the route actually is.
Yeah, no, 100%. And we are in, guys. We're in Codcaster, and we can actually cast a game. So map number 2, Bocage, is going to be our scene here. And the stuff on the Codcaster is the right way around, which is always good to see. So already, players starting to accumulate a few positions, and Ghost manages to grab the first blood onto Docs. A good start there from the boys of Vitalize. They did win that previous Search and Destroy, as I mentioned, against Dansk, and I believe, if memory serves me well, it was actually on... No, it wasn't. It was on Berlin. They won that one, so slight different pace, but already Vega looking to get that bomb down, and his teammate, J Prof. Wow, good round from Vitalize, Pabs.
So quick. We noticed straight away, the guys try and set up across the map to try and get a defense, but the speed at which Vitalize get bombed down, that just tells you these S&Ds, they're the same pace as Hardpoint. They just don't appear to be slowing down.
Yeah, and so Vitalize looking to continue where they left off from that Hardpoint. If you did miss it, guys, it was 250 to 97 on Berlin Hardpoint, so a very convincing first map from those boys, and we'll see now if the fast route can manage to work something here on the attacking round. Uzik, he's got the bomb, but he's actually not moving, so I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Is this another potential glitch? Because yeah, I think we're going to see a restart here. I think one of the lads has had another issue with Call of Duty, and it's just this is just tainting every single game at the moment, isn't it? So I think we are going to see a restart, guys, as Samba is currently admiring the beauty of the ground. Yep, and we are going to see a restart.
Well, I mean, the one takeaway you can get from it is that we don't often, when we were in Cold War, we didn't get that many problems to deal with. So we're going to be experts at dealing with the things that this game can throw up. So, let's look at the positives while we can. But yeah, just to go back to that first round though, you saw the guys from the fast shoot set up in like a standard like a cross map formation to try and get control, and they just got hit hard on that A, and it was just an immediate plant. And I just think that the pace of this game, that S&D is just so fast.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's going to be relentless. This is going to be a relentless year for competitive.
Yeah, and like a map like that on search, you feel as if the round can be over in like a split second of 1 or 2 gunfights. If one team instantly goes two guys up, with the pace of the game and how quickly teams can trade, it's like you lose that first blood, and your second man's down. Your challenge becomes instantly harder.
Yeah. It's all going to come down to getting to that, especially at the higher level. It's going to come down to getting to the position that you've practiced first and getting the most accurate shot off first. I think if you're a team that's going to practice S&D heavily, that's got to be your priority. Get to your positions, have positions that you know are going to control the map, and just make sure you're there first. Who knows how people are going to do that, where they GA every possible mechanic and perk and in the game, but hopefully they're not gonna do that too quick. But yeah, it's just going to be super interesting to see how this S&D develops. In fact, if anything, we kind of know what to expect with hardpoint. It's how the S&Ds are going to develop, which is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, it's just going to have to be, hopefully, less of a bumpy ride now for the remaining maps that we do have. And guys, if you do or do not know them, it's going to be obviously Bocage now, but Vitalize, they are going to be 1-0 up now in this search and destroy, so we'll just have to keep tabs on that one. But they are now 1-0 up in the best of 5, 1-0 up in the search, and going to just re-lobby up now. Hopefully, and get the second round and the second game underway very, very shortly. It looks as though everyone's in and ready to go, so we're just waiting on it to get going, guys, and then hopefully we don't have any more issues.
Man, hats off to you. You're doing a sterling job looking after the stream and looking after the constant problems with Vanguard that it's thrown up.
Oh, mate, the stress right now is real. Like, I thought it was going to be difficult enough with with a new game, a new layout, let alone with all the glitches involved in it. So fingers crossed. I'm praying it's going to be smooth sailing from here. I had an issue on Cold War anyways with my COD that I don't know if you saw it, perhaps, when people used to go outside the map. It used to give me scan all the time. No idea why. It just used to do it. So whenever anyone was on garrison going towards that P2, if they were going towards the edge of the hill, I was like, oh god, switch, because it just used to give me scan all the time.
Well, that must have been hell as well, because that was kind of a legit strategy, was to get over the fence and jump back in.
Yeah, exactly. So people were like, what's going on the hill? I was like, I can't look, because if someone goes off the top rope, and I think, oh, the lobby's just ended, so it's glitched out again.
Man, wow. This is wild. I had like the entirety of Cold War. I had 2 scan and repairs, like on stream. Yeah, just I never suffered it at all. Even on the old system as well, it was never really an issue.
Oh man, you were absolutely blessed. I had so many difficulties with it.
I got scan and repair as soon as I loaded this game up. The first half an hour of loading the game up, it's scan and repaired. So yeah. That was my introduction to Vanguard.
That's how you knew. It was like, wow, we're in for a rough year.
Chalk it up.
100%, mate. So yeah, the guys have had to restart the lobby for what feels like the umpteenth time. And I'm quite happy that you guys can't see the game chat, because the guys are ripping Vanguard at the moment with all its glitches and issues at the moment. They're not too best pleased. So we're... we should have started half past, and now we're 25 minutes in. We've only completed one map, which we didn't even really get to see, to be honest. So,
I've just realised my microphone was off for the entire time. That's so weird.
No, it wasn't.
No, I mean, it's on now.
Oh, is it? Oh, I could hear you. Oh.
I'm so strange. Sorry.
Yeah, guys, we are now booting up into Bocage, Search and Destroy. And as mentioned, Vitalize, they're 1-0 up now. So, keep tabs of that.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, beautiful.
Oh my god.
I get this all the time.
Is this another glitch?
Yeah, it's like, it's only an S&D.
Like I'm looking straight into our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ is himself. What is that? Yeah, guys, Vitalize ESports. They are 1-0 up, and already look at the pacing of those 2 players down the left-hand side of the map. Sabot and Docs going around the back. Docs has that potential for the first engagement. He's going to need some help, though. And it looks as though Sabot knows where Zaro is, and there's the first blood. Good round start for the boys, and Sabot with a nice double to get us started, leaving Ghost and Vega, the last two up, and Vega drops, so now it is all on Ghost to try and do what he can. And now Ghost spots one, takes down Usyk. Can he manage to grab Dox as well? He gets some shots in, but he's incredibly weak. He'll do well to stay alive in this position. He managed. Just trying to finesse his way at the moment, Pabs. He's got to try and pick one player off at a time.
It's crazy. It's almost an instant kind of replay of the first round as well. It's just, this is wild so far. It's so fast. Sabot's two-piece just really turned the game on its head.
Oh, he's managed to grab another one. Ghost. Oh, Jesus. Good luck looking into that. He's managed to take down one. I think he was just baiting out the sound hole from Dox, who does hear him, and he spots him as well. So Ghost's going to run into the shots, and Dox manages to get the round win. So fast route. They are going to tie it up as Vitalize took the first round before the restart, guys. So it is now 1 round apiece, and that was getting a bit of a nervous moment there for fast route.
Nice to see the pace slow down towards the end, though. But the beginning was almost an identical kind of like first round. They pushed so hard on the left. So hopefully we can see a bit more from Dox and the boys.
Yeah. Back on the defensive side now. We'll see if they adapt a little bit to Vitalize's aggression, because we saw how quickly they pushed over towards that A point, and it looks as though it might potentially be a similar approach here. Vega on top of the roof, and the gunfight's surely going to wolf. There you go, Vega. First round, first kill. Manages to grab one there, and he's got a teammate in J-Prof. Just keeping an eye around the back here. He might be able to make the play. They are getting the bomb down. Zyro is sticking the plant, and now it looks as though might be Ghost actually to get a couple of picks here. J-Prof grabs another, and Dox falls as well. So Vitalize, another good attacking round, Pablo.
Again, almost identical. They're just so strong going down the left that they just get that bomb site control, and you know they're prepared for anything. You saw the kind of like reaction time from Vega was just unreal. Just another dominant performance, and hopefully Dox and the boys. But this is leaning towards attacking rounds at the minute. We're not seeing a really strong defensive round from anyone.
Yeah, like we mentioned before with Barn, I suppose, because you've got so many ways in. You've got to kind of keep tabs on so many doors, so many openings, that it's just almost difficult to cover every angle to an extent.
You don't want to be the one controlling mid. That's the thing. You don't want to be that one player having to watch mid.
Yeah, 100%. So now Vitalize, they've gone for a slightly different approach here on the defense. You can see J-Prof just watching the cross for the time being. And he's just keeping his head down, but they're just allowing Sabot to get in towards the site. It's just as and when he just tries to try and stick the bomb, really. He has got Dox alongside him. He goes again, assuming the position outside, and first blood goes in favor of Vitalize once again. They managed to take down one. Sabot still in the bomb site. And that light is truly blinding as Zyro manages to take down one. Usyk does manage to reply with a kill. But now it is a 2v3 situation. Usyk falls, and now it's Rev all on his own. I think he actually managed to clock him straight on the head with the nade there, but they do get final kill, and Vitalize, they're going to grab that defuse as well. So our first...
I don't know whether you saw how quick Vega, just the reaction time to turn and kill was unreal. The time to kill in this game is just having playing a part in these score lines. It's wild, and just the setup from Vitalize just slightly different there, where they kind of like ventured down more towards the side, kind of like watching through mid. And I think you were right to point it out. It played well into the hands of Vitalize. They got such a good strategy to employ when they played the other one so often.
Yeah, I think that's where you can tend to see like the difference between good teams on search and like very good teams on search is that kind of that mid-map adaptation to certain plays that team makes. And Vega again with the aggression flying straight through. He might get a free pick either out the back or up top, and Usyk doesn't see it coming, takes down one. There is still a man out the back in Rev, but I don't think he's seen him. But you can see that Dox, he was in a corner actually, but he gets taken down by Zyro. So again, Pablo, another round where Vitalize, they've got the man advantage by 2 once again. Oh, now make it 3.
I have no idea what Rev was watching, but he completely missed that play from Vega. And yeah, another just so fast. The control of the map is just incredible from Vitalize, who are, you know, well-deserved 4-1 lead at the minute. It's crazy.
Yeah, and as mentioned before, in that I've only really got the one game to go off of these lads, but when they did play the search, they're a very organised team. in terms of positioning and plays that they make, and they do play their lives really well in certain situations, as difficult as it is in this game, and it's definitely showing here again now, as they've got a bit of a cushion. We go in towards the next round, so they are currently 4-1 up, guys. Although it says 3-1, Vitalize did manage to take one round, if you did or didn't see, and oh, a cheeky gammon bomb. I don't know what the situation is in this MCA with GAs, but it's not normally a sight that we tend to see more recently with the strength that those gammon bombs have. Sambo trying to work through, but he runs straight into the line of sight of J-Prof, and now a 3v3.
And this is the first time we've seen the fast route actually change things up, so this is exactly what they needed to do to bring themselves back into the game, but just not quick enough. Major, that is insane. How quick.
Zyro's having another good map here. 5-1, now on a 5 streak, so I assume he does now have a glide bomb. Yep, he's got a glide bomb to work with as well. So Dox is left in a 1v3. He takes down one, but J-Prof, again, the trades for Vitalize. Efficient. He gets the kill, and Vitalize now, they're only one round away from taking map number 2 and going 2-0 up here in the series.
You know, Vega's 6-1, and the guy's like, he's that entry man. He is like pushing really quickly into these like dangerous areas, and I think he understands just how the time to kill is playing. He's got the reaction times, he's got the accuracy, and it's he's presently kind of like the kill leader at the minute for that very reason.
Yeah, 100%. And now fast route. They've got it all to do now. They can't drop any more rounds. And again, it looks as though Vega is potentially going to be a man to try and make the play. But a first blood this time goes in favour of fast route, and Rev with a nice couple of kills there. Very quick succession for him now puts Zyro and Vega in the 2v4, and a much better defensive hold here. Vega looking to try and prove the spoiler again, or not quite able to get the second. But now Zyro this time is going to be the last man up, and he's got a lot of work to do.
That's the one thing we saw throughout Cold War, was when you have that player who's on 0, if you can get them into the game, maybe just have a word, tell them to take up a different position. You know, as soon as they contribute to the game, it's a different match entirely. Now we're looking at what could be potentially a solid defensive round from Fast Route.
Oh no. Oh, Dox is not going to want to watch that one back. Zyro has just absolutely fried him. Oh no. So that's going to spare a little bit of blushes there. Zyro is just going to manage to take him down. He makes it a 1v2 now, and this is the round to win it here for Vitalize. He's not got a huge amount of time to work with. But holy sensitivity. He is checking every corner. Not sure if they're going to hear this bomb go down, potentially. Rev isn't going to hear it. He's not going to check it either, but surely he's going to spot him. Surely he's going to get the info that he knows he's underground, and it looks as though Sabot's going to try and make the play. Rev's on the defuse. They spot Zyro, and a good round and good communications there from Fast Route.
And that's the first time they've looked like that they've actually been cohesive when they've come into the game. It looks like the communication's definitely improved. And that was a much better strategy. They got Rev into the game with those 2 kills, and it's just the communication is key in this, especially at a game this fast-paced. You know, you need to be accurate with your comms. You need to be telling your teammates where the players are exactly. Yeah, and you've seen that in scrims with the MWSL guys. You just got to be super accurate.
Yeah. So a much needed round there for the boys of Fast Route, whichever way you want to look at it. So now it's still another 4 rounds in a row without an answer that they need, and they've got a little bit of a split approach here. A couple players trying to go through mid, and Sabot, the door is slammed well and truly in his face, and Vega out the back manages to get a pick as well. So now Dox and Uzik, they're outnumbered. They're going to have to try and pull a 2v4 out here, Pablo. Otherwise, it is going to be 2-0 up for Vitalize.
I don't know what it is with them on the attack. They just seem to just lack imagination. They've been so good defensively, you know, in the latter stage. And there you go. That's it. It's wild. It's wild how bad they were defensively.
Yeah, so Vitalize, a very convincing search and destroy from those guys.
That's some that one. Moody end music going on there.
Oh, you can thank Aqua for that one. He wanted me to bring that into the stream, and yeah, they're going to manage to go 2-0 up in the series here, Pablo. So quite a lot of work now for these boys.
This is exactly what we said earlier on, that the position they don't want to be in after that first map, and they completely just didn't have any imagination on the attack and rounds. They just pushed down the left as often as possible. When they couldn't push down the left, and they were getting dominated. They went down the center, and it just wasn't the best thing to do. Defensively, they started to make the right plays, but there was just too many rounds deficit, and it was just never. It was always from round one. You saw the pace of Vitalize on that left-hand side. They just went straight to bomb and planted. Insane pace, and we thought that there was going to be a slowdown. And the pace of S&D and Vanguard appears to be
it's still there.
Crazy. Yeah. It's insane. But yeah, when you compare to something like Raid, S&D, which was just so much more strategic, this is wild.
Yeah, and it definitely looked as though Vitalize had a little bit more in terms of like what they've got in their arsenal for a bit of variety, I suppose, to their attacking plays. Fast through, they kind of had the occasional round where it was looking like they could make something out of it. But then Vitalize, again, the combination of kind of good communication, it seems, gun skill, and like just standard plays just seem to benefit them really well there.
Yeah, I think as well, you look at the kills, they're across the board. Everyone in Vitalize had a solid amount of kills. They were either balanced or they were positive KD. So they were playing their roles correctly as well. So whatever strategies they'd employed and practiced were paying off. And then you only have to look at the guys from the fast route, and you saw Rev was kind of like 75% way through the game before he got his first kill. And again, that can only come down to communication. And you look at Vega, though, as an entry man, just 6 kills. Was it 6 in the end? I think he may have even had more by the end. Just absolutely dominating, just using that pace, using the game mechanics to his advantage, and just absolutely unloading all over the fast route.
Yeah, it's one of those where it feels like Search and Destroy, you can even regain heavily from it, or it just puts you down in the dirt a little bit more. And after that one, they did have flashes of promise. But it looks like it's a long uphill battle, and obviously we're going now into another hard point. That Berlin one was brutal, 250 to 97, so they're now back in the grinder again.
Man, they're going into a smaller, faster hard point with players like Zero and Vega. Zero absolutely, I mean, what can you say? He absolutely melted Doc's top barn, like on that kind of like barn veranda, and we're going into a much faster map. With much closer hills, so I mean, this is the biggest regain. I think this is already first game in for Vanguard, second for you, and we're looking at a massive regain needed. And I don't know. These are 8 good players that play at a similar level. So, I mean, we're just seeing the difference between a team with great comms and a team who may be on the struggle bus a little bit.
Yeah, nice. That's where the grinding pays off. I don't know how new this fast route team is. But I'm pretty sure the Vitalize lads have got a fair few scrims and reps under their belt, and especially early on in the games, with how like steep the learning curve can be and how quickly teams can start to pull away from teams who haven't really learned spawns or rotations or certain good plays in Search and Destroy. It can really start to show in some of these games.
And one of the weird, interesting things about a game with this kind of time to kill and this kind of pace is that the higher up you go, the difficulty is exponential. You've got to consider that the very good players are playing in good teams that have got great comms, that are super accurate communications, but they've got like the best gun skill, and you marry that all together, and you've got a team that could dominate. And Vega, Zero, Ghost, and J-Prof already look like they've put the time in.
Yeah, 100%. And there you go. Codcaster has decided to... Oh, no. It is the right way around. I thought I'd got it wrong, Pabs. I got nervous. I got nervous because it's the first hard point that we can actually cast over. But we're all good. We're good. We got everyone the right way around, so happy days. And yeah, guys, so Vitalize 2 up in the series, and the fast route, they are going to need a very good hard point here. Sabot starting off hot already. 3 kills to his name and a good bit of early time already. And I suppose probably that P2 hill, tend to see a lot of teams starting to push through, but I suppose it's always that question of as and when they decide to try and make that play.
Interesting, Sabot and Rev just completely pushed right the way into Church and just wanted to get those kills early doors to give them that 15-20 second advantage, and it's paid off. And it's been a really good start for the fast route, and Sabot and Rev, really, you can see they're 3-2 and 2-2. Hey, hardpoint definitely suits them over S&D, I would suggest.
Yeah, so it looks as though Vitalize They've just decided to chalk it and rotate early over towards the P2, so it looks as though Uzic's going to try and go around the back. He's not going to get anything working on that occasion, but Ghost manages to grab a couple of kills. Sabot will manage to get one. Oh, and he gets a second as well, and he's got an opportunity to push through the back, but Zyro has absolutely none of it. He is just locked into position, and there is a big gunfight on the hill as well. They do manage to take the man down off the hill and Vitalize. Every man is going to fall. Oh, and was that a cheeky little body shot there from Docs, already starting to get a little bit heated?
Huge play by Vega, though. I mean, it looked like he was going to control it with 2 big kills, but that kill on Vega was just so important for them to get that kill control again. Such a vital piece of play from the boys from the fast route. If Vega gets that kill, then we are seeing a tied game.
Yeah, and they've started off well here, fast route. They've managed to accumulate the scrap time as well, so this hill arguably is one of the biggest probably in the game in terms of money hills. If you can anchor that spawn, and it looks as though that's exactly what Ghost is going to do, locked out the back with the automaton, he's going to be very, very difficult. But you can see there's a few players pushed up as well. Vega just keeping an eye on this right-hand side of the map, and the team spawn's coming through, but Sabot has managed to go through the back, and they've cleaned them out straight away.
That was such a weird spawn. He spawned... They had spawn control. Ghost is at the back, and they've spawned on top of rooftops, and that's just allowed the fast route to just come in on the right-hand side and completely control that. It's insane spawn right there.
Yeah, it looks as though that has absolutely stiffed Vitalize. They have managed to get back on the hill, and with the 30 seconds still remaining, it's kind of a case of do you stick or do you twist at this point. Do they try at least one more push here, fast route? It looks as though Docs might be trying to make something work. They haven't got anyone out the back, so if he wins us on the hill, no, Juicy Prof is going to manage to take him down, and that scrap time will go in favour of Vitalize, and we're back again pretty much to an even game.
Yep. Great play by the boys from the fast route and by Vitalize, really. That must have been a shock to the system when they spawned in such a on top rooftops, because they lost complete control. But again, we're just seeing really good play. Look at Sabot on 13 and 8. He's just having a mega game so far. And I think he's primarily been that player who's been pushing you kill and getting control. He dropped Vega P2, and it looks like he's kind of like getting these awful, really annoying kills that you get in and around the kill, and he's playing that role really, really well.
Yeah, and you definitely feel the way that Vitalize play in terms of as a team, you definitely think that slaying's really got to come through for fast route here, because if they don't outslay them, are they going to potentially outplay them as a team? Maybe, maybe not. It's kind of one of those where Vitalize, they do look very solid on a lot of rotations, and again, they're going to get that 20 seconds or so of scrap time, and we've seen the lead change now. They are going to push it out a little bit further, and it'll be interesting to see if Zyro can start to pick up a bit of steam here. He had a really good map 1, really good map 2, and it definitely seems as though he might be the man as of a bit of an X factor really for Vitalize, at least so far in this series anyway.
Yeah, Zero's come to life, 15 and 10. It's just a bit of a slow start. It just looked like that Rev initially, and then Sabot were going to dominate this map, but Zero's come to life, and look, Vega 15 and 9. And we're seeing big play. I mean, Juicy, J-Prof's doing the dirty work. He's 7 and 8, but that time is like 107. So we're just starting to see that play, this teamwork that you were talking about earlier on come together now.
Yeah, they're doing a bit of a madness here, Vitalize, and this hill is very difficult to break unless you try and push it from down low, and it looks as though they are just throwing bodies at this, the fast route, but they're just kind of entering a phase where they're pushing it one at a time. Sabot able to at least pick one off, but again, he falls. A couple more players starting to push through, but it's just single file at the moment. Docs is going to go in, but he's, oh no, it's his own teammate that actually takes him out with the nade, so it's going to look to try and rest on Uzik. He falls, Rev falls, and Vitalize again with that remaining scrap time. A very good hold for them on that hill as we go back over towards the P1. Sabot is already set up again, Pablo. You mentioned he's been the man to look to try and make the play early on the hill, but Ghost takes him down. Sabot does actually get him with the nade in that, so we'll help him out just a little bit, but again, Vitalize there. They seem to be all over the hill already.
Yeah, they doubled up. It did look like the guys in the fast route decided to double up P1 on the second rotation, but absolutely beamed by Ghost, and then the supports just come in for the rest of the team. So just superb plays by Vitalize to just control this map, and whatever the guys in the fast route throw at them, they've just got an answer, and it's just going to be a difficult, 50, 60 seconds for the boys in the fast route.
Yeah, and now, as I mentioned prior to it, Zyro, he's really starting to get a bit of steam going now. He's 21 and 11 on a 6 streak, now on a 7, fully streaked out for him. And Vitalize, they have managed to accumulate pretty much about 100 points in a row without response hit. coming through from the fast route. They really need to try and pull their finger out here, otherwise this best of 5 could be over quickly. They're looking to try and play the long route here. It looks as though Usyk and Sabot are going to try and work their way around the back. Dox has at least managed to get on the scrap time, but Sabot really has to go huge here in the back. There's a few blue arrows lurking, and he's just trying to play it slow and wait for his teammates, but the next gunfights are going to be big. Dox runs straight past one. J-Prof takes him down, and it looks as though Sabot is still lurking in the back, so the spawns aren't going to be that generous to Vitalize. They still need to try and work their way over, but the hard anchor now has gone. He falls in the back, and now, unless Fast Route get the kills, it's going to be difficult for them to hold these with the spawns coming through, potentially for Vitalize, but they're doing a good job.
I think the reliance on Sabot to anchor that hill was just way too much. They didn't give him enough support earlier on in the hill, and that's why they've gone so far behind. They are doing well now, but once they get in the hills as a kind of like 2 or 3, they do okay. But they just need to be able to hold on to the next rotation, and they need someone in that hill time now, because we are 52 seconds away from a 3-0. Big plays by Sabot, but it's just not been enough.
Yeah, and you can see the foot race going on to New. Juicy J-Prof, he's going to be there alongside Zyro. But now this is potentially going to be the make or break play here for Fast Route. In they fly. Sabot wins a gunfight. Usyk wins ones as well. They're still trying to get the man out the back of Zyro. Oh, he's got all 3. He does kill himself. But I think they're just going to manage to get the spawns here. Oh, but the flank from Ghost. He could take them all down here. He takes down one. You've still got Rev in the back, but can he get taken down as well? Ghost, what a play from him. Vitalize break the hill. They're not currently putting anyone on it for the time being, but this is looking very, very difficult now for the boys of Fast Route to try and make the play and make the comeback here.
Superior ARs all round. Ghost just played so well, Prof did well, and that 3-piece from Zero, despite the exploding van, just to dominate that hill. Again, just great teamwork, but that AR from Ghost is just... I know he's 13 and 22, but that 2-piece he gets is a game changer right there.
Yeah, 100%. It's now like, it's kind of in a position now where they held a pretty good start to that hill, Vitalize, but they just didn't really have anyone on the hill, and there's a big one-on-one which Usyk is able to win, so they are going to at least stay alive for the time being. But now the gunfights coming up, they are going to be the big ones. You can see Vega is all the way out in the back, and he's going to manage to... Oh, no, maybe not. Rev manages to just stay alive. Surely, though, Zyro is going to go hunting, and he manages to grab his 28th on the hard point and manages to rack off 2 in quick succession. And again, Vitalize, they just come steaming through, and they manage to make the break once again.
I just think they rely so heavily on you know, trying to hold that hill. They've been broken every time they've tried to hold it, and look at Zero is gone insane. Vega and Zero are just just crazy. It's 31 and 18 and 26 and 17. They are absolutely dominating. He's got 1 minute 29 on the hill as well. This has been an awesome, you know, 3 games from Zero. He's just, I mean, if you're going to ask for a nomination for player of the game, it's going to have to be Zero.
Yeah, they did well in stages of that game, Fast Route, but Vitalized, they just looked very, very efficient again. I said it before, I'll say it now, they're very, very coordinated as a 4, and they seem to be pushing things and breaking things, and when you've got the players like Zyro starting to pop off, it's just so more difficult for those players to try and at least claw something back out of the game. And yeah, it's a very convincing 3-0 there for Vitalize, it must be said.
It was uphill from the beginning, but I think if you're going to take any positives for the boys in the Fast Route, they get into that Churchill, and they obviously enjoy those close quarter engagements. They're obviously great when it's a bit more chaotic, but when it comes to those more important, holding that being the anchor, holding those positions, being more strategic, they just couldn't do it throughout S&D or Hardpoint. And we just saw then, you know, even though Ghost went negative, he's getting big kills at the right time. So, you know, he's killing the anchor. He's getting 2 big kills as people try and push onto the hill. And again, when you've got players like Vega and Zyro just going off like that,
yeah,
they just dominate.
Yeah, it's always difficult to kind of hold composure if you're getting outslain quite heavily on games of Hardpoint. But it's definitely one of those where it's hard to say, like, whether Vitalize were really that good, which I think, to be honest, it probably was that. But Fast Route, if they get the reps in, they did show glimpses where they had moments in the game where you felt like they could get a bit of momentum going, and they did. You saw at the start, they had a decent start to the hard point. It's just when Vitalize got running, everything just started to snowball for them, and it just seemed to go in their favor for pretty much everything.
Yeah, I think we talked about it earlier on. The consistency is the key in hard points, and we did mention earlier on that we see time and time again cracked players absolutely dominate the first 30 or 40 seconds of P1, but a team that's got a coherent strategy, good comms, and good players will dominate the rest of the game, and that's what we've seen right there. We even saw it in S&D, you know, when they won their defensive round. They mixed things up a little bit. They employed a slightly different strategy. The comms were clearly there because we could see that Rev and Sabat had spoken to each other about that player in tunnel. So there are, I mean, it might come down to the fact first game on, it could be Vega and that have practiced a lot more, and you know we might see a different Docs and a different fast route, whatever team that might shape up in 3 or 4 weeks' time. But right now it does look like the Vitalize boys have got the edge, and it was a dominant performance.
So a really strong start to the MCA European Series there. This one is Group A, guys, and I believe there's 4 teams in a group, either 4 or 3. I can't remember off the top. It might actually be 3 thinking about it, but yeah. So a strong start there for Vitalize, off the go from them, a 3-0 over fast route. But GG's there for both teams nonetheless. Really good series, and at least we got to cast over the top without the glitches. Playing
it was nice
too
to get
much of
one
an
half
issue.
point.
Yeah, exactly. So but yeah, guys, if you did miss it and you are just joining in, Vitalize, they do take the series 3-0, both hard points, pretty dominant from them, and the search as well, a pretty good one at 6-2. So a big thank you for everyone who's tuning in. That is going to be me done for the evening, and as a big thank you, I have to thank my comrade, Mr. Pablo, for joining me on the microphone and persevering with me, and all you guys in the chat as well. But yeah, big thanks, Pablo, for joining us, mate.
Mate, it's always a pleasure to cast with Europe's leading caster right there, the man himself. Honestly, just it's always nice to get a little bit of experience doing something different. So hopefully it wasn't too insane. I know your play-by-play is immaculate, but colour casting is a new one to both of us. And apologies, guys, if it was a bit wild at times. And it's like, what is Pablo talking about? But no, it was a pleasure just to get onto the mic again and just start talking about some Call of Duty. One takeaway is that if they fix some of the problems, I think we've got a good comp game that I think we can enjoy, and we could make it enjoyable for the viewer as well. Dominant performance from a really good side, but it's just nice to be back, mate. And thank you for the duo.
Oh, mate, pleasure's all mine. I'm sure this is not the first. So we'll be back, irritating people left, right, and centre once more with hopefully less glitches and issues. But before we do go, guys, I will just have a quick check as always to see if there is anyone that we can raid. And I'll tell you what.
Just like to say as well, I just did bring the S&D light with me.
Yeah, just the old little flashlight on the bomb. So what we'll do is we'll give Dave a raid. He called me a gorilla in League Play once because I wasn't very good. But he's a very, very good player. Anyone who's played him knows he's an absolute madness on the sticks is Dave EU. So if you guys can head over there and show him a bit of love, because that is our one and only game for this evening. And I think I'll speak on behalf of myself and Pablo. It's been an absolute pleasure casting this one, and plenty more to come in the future, hopefully with less glitches. But yeah, we'll catch you guys on the flip side. And once again, Pablo, thank you for joining me.
Not a problem. Pleasure as ever, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers, guys, and we will catch you again very, very shortly.